So, I am going to try and get a response to Layman's Hardware with their Elmira Cookstove. They did actually a very wonderful job on it, but I would like to point out a couple of the flaws, I guess, that weren't necessarily shown in this video. Number one, I know that their product was all staged and it was a beautiful showroom product and everything was working well. And so the fire that they had burning was all pretty and beautiful. Well, this one, the low light's bad. Once you start getting into a real world scenario, you got a beautiful fire in there, but that window that it's showing is all clouded up with soot and everything. So depending, I guess, on what wood you're burning, this is dry, very dry, but pine is about the best that we get around here. We've had this one running. We ran it full all last winter. We got it just over a year ago. And now we are the middle of September, and we're just firing it up again for the first time. Something that you'll notice if you ever get one is initially this whole top comes off as a beautiful plate stainless steel. It's really pretty, but just so that you're prepared, I actually like it this way, but once the fire heats up, it turns it into that beautiful bluing, and so you need to keep that kind of oiled and ready to go. Also, in his video, he lifted up the top hatch here. I'm going to do this once and very quickly because this thing puffs out a lot of smoke just as soon as you open that plate. So hopefully that showed up, and hopefully it doesn't set off the fire alarm. I bet his showroom model probably had a 30-foot chimney to create enough draft to suck that smoke out without causing any problems. But ours sits at 16. I don't know. I believe it's the minimum, and so we get a lot of back puffing if we ever open up that particular panel. The front panel still works well. What else? Everything actually seems to work pretty good with this. You guys back east with your hickory wood and hardwoods and everything, you would definitely love this. It would heat up the oven to a beautiful temperature. So, like I said, we just barely fired this up 10 minutes ago, and so it's just barely starting to heat up now. I'm starting to get a little heat right off the top. Clean out. Cleaning is very interesting. What you end up doing is taking off these three plates. You see these dividers here. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how good the lighting is with this camera, but anyway, you take off these three, and then the oven box, of course, is around, and you knock all the soot off and brush it down. Well, something that I can see is a problem here, it isn't necessarily really a problem. There's a plate right here. I really wish I could turn on a flash, but there's a little plate with Phillips screws. You unscrew that, and that's where you pull all of your ash and soot and everything back and out. And then also, so you come around the back here, there is, I'm not going to get that, there's a box back there. It's where the chimney flue, the flue box, I guess, the flue collar. Okay, that's a little better. And it's actually a triangle. That box part's the heat shield that goes with it to minimize clearances. That triangle builds up a fair amount of soot. We had to knock it out at least once last winter, and it was optional. We did it a few times just for good measure. But so after you get in there, then you use your opening gray to open it all the way, and you stick a stick in there and you just rattle it all around and just beat the snot out of that to knock off the soot to pull it out down at the bottom here. So it's actually kind of a messy cleanup. So I guess kind of a quick summary for those that are interested in a cook stove and maybe have burned wood and have experience with it, and don't mind the cleanup and the hassle and the mess of wood heat and wood cooking. I would definitely highly recommend the stove. If for those of you maybe that are just starting into, say, prepping or homesteading or some country life, I would say your best bet is actually just to get a standard fireplace with a nice flat top, and just use some cast iron on top of that on that stove use it as your cook's top, because as far as the oven, it's nice. It's cooked us a lot of really good food, but it is not necessary. Just get yourself, like I said, put a Dutch oven right on top of a regular fireplace stove, or even elevate it with a coaster or something that you can find that's non-combustible. And the heat that will build off at the top of a fireplace will be every bit as good of an oven. In fact, we initially did it with a flat top, a big old Fisher stove built in the 70s. I mean, that thing was a monster. But it cooks food. All you need is heat. The oven is nice, but for the extra price you pay, I wouldn't be sure that I would make very sure that that's something that you would want. So I hope this has been sort of helpful. Like I said, Elmira Fireview Cookstove, Flameview, one of them. Anyway, good luck.